Most kids will experience having a nightmare sometime during childhood. And as a parent, it can be tough because we don't want to see our kids be scared or distressed, and we want them to get a good night's sleep. So what can we do to help our child through a nightmare? I've got some great tips for you today. And at the end, we're going to talk about some things that you can do to help prevent nightmares from happening in the first place. Nightmares can start in kids as young as 3 years old, as their brain is developing and their imagination is getting stronger and more active. So today I'm going to give you some tips for what you can do to help your child in the moment, like overnight when they wake up with a nightmare, and also some things that we can do to prevent them in the first place. First, let's differentiate between a couple things that lots of parents think is a nightmare, but is not actually a nightmare. Nightmares can pop up every now and then, but it's really unlikely that a nightmare is going to wake your child up every single night, and certainly not wake them up multiple times a night. If you are dealing with these frequent night wake-ups, it's likely not a nightmare. Check out this video. And before we jump in, I want to briefly mention two main differences between nightmares and night terrors. So first of all, night terrors can happen much more frequently than nightmares. Night terrors typically happen in the first few hours of sleep, like before midnight, whereas nightmares happen in a different stage of sleep, usually in the early hours of the morning. The second difference is, with a nightmare, your child will calm down and be reassured once they see you and maybe get some snuggles. But with a night terror, your child is actually dead asleep the whole time. They won't even know if you enter the room. If you need some more help, like telling the difference between nightmares and night terrors, check out this video. So now that you know that your child is really having a nightmare, what can you do to help them? Well, the easiest thing to do is prevent them from happening in the first place. Nightmares happen more frequently in kids who are overtired. That just means that they're not getting enough sleep. So the best thing you can do is make sure that your child is getting that 10 to 12 hours of solid sleep every night. Now, when your child wakes up in the middle of the night and they're obviously scared, they've had a bad dream, what can you do to help them through it? The best thing that you can do is stay calm and just reassure them. Get them back to their bed, get them back to their room, give them some snuggles, rub their back if you want to. Sometimes physical touch can be really calming. If they want to talk about the dream, let them kind of talk about it to get it out of their system, but don't press them on it. Consider turning on like a dim nightlight if that's helpful, but try to avoid turning on the bright overhead lights, and definitely don't turn on screens or anything like that. Make sure that your child has their lovey or their favorite blankie and they're nice and cozy with their white noise machine so they feel cozy and safe in their room. If your child needs more than just like a quick snuggle to get resettled, then try talking about something positive just to kind of get their mind off of the dream. You could talk about like something that happened on a favorite TV show, or like a memory, or even like some fun upcoming plans that you have. The idea is just to get their mind focused on something else. You could even tell like a silly made-up story if you want. Just, keep it brief. You could even have your kid take some deep, slow breaths. Imagine that they're blowing up a balloon. But remember, your goal is to get your kid calmed down and resettled quickly so that you can get out of the room. Nightmares are a great opportunity for your child to build some self-reliance. So you do your job, which is get them back to their bed, reassure them, let them know that it's okay to feel scared, that it was just a dream and it's over now, and that they are safe and cozy in their own bed. All right, I've got a couple more ideas on how to prevent nightmares from happening in the future. So I already mentioned that making sure that your kid gets great sleep every night is really the best way to prevent them from getting overtired, which can lead to more nightmares. So that's the best thing you can do. But there are some other pre-bedtime things that you can do as well. Keep a consistent bedtime routine each night so that your child can fall asleep quickly. Talk about funny things before your child goes to bed. Talk about like the funniest thing that happened today, or, who can make the silliest voice. I love to plan what I call dream dates with my kids when I'm putting them to bed, which is where we talk about where we want to meet up that night in our dreams. It could be like at the aquarium. It could be at Disney World. It could be on the moon, whatever it is. Doing things like this just helps fill your child's brain with like happy, fun, calm, silly images before they go to bed. And remember, if you're battling like multiple wake-ups every night, then it's not a nightmare that's causing that. Check out this video.